Great job you've been doing helping me out. I mean, you guys are doing a real good job, and I appreciate very, very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for calling in.
No, I have to thank you guys.
All right. Well, I'm thanking you for letting us know that you're happy. Okay.
Sharon will do her best to have your issues gain the attention of that specific government office, private enterprise, or business. Once you call Connect with Sharon, 622-4911. Connect with Sharon, 12:05 p.m. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, only on Talk City 91.1 FM. Your address for talk.
Are you ready for the biggest musical event in Tobago for 2025? The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival comes to you April 17th to 20th. 3 nights of unforgettable music and memories that will last a lifetime. Get your physical tickets now in Tobago. Ted Arthur, corner Ross and Burnett Street, Uptown Scarborough. Waterholics, Pigeon Point Road. Pablo's Supermarket, Argyle Main Road. Dominion Appliance, Scipio Trace Conby. All Penny Saver Supermarkets. Tobago Festivals Commission Limited Office, Smithfield Plaza, Scarborough. All Cache stores. All Ecliffe Eli outlets. Ticket pricing. Melodies from Heaven. General $250. VIP $500. Buku Seafood and Jazz. General $500. VIP $1,000. Fusion. General $500. VIP $1,200. All tickets are also available online at islandetickets.com. Visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info or call 639-4441. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
Powered by TTT Limited, the official national media partner for Tobago's Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Santa Rosa Malabar Cluster presents Divine Mercy Sunday. Jesus commands us to exercise 3 degrees of mercy. Act of mercy of whatever kind. Word of mercy. Prayer. Act of mercy. As an act of charity/mercy, kindly bring 1 non-perishable food item or monetary contribution to donate to the less fortunate. Word of mercy. Share a kind word with someone new, family or friend. Prayer. Pray for self, family, etc. Pray for your enemies, rivals within your ministry, church, and work. Pray for penance and atonement for the sins we commit. Children ministry will be held for the children between 5 to 12 years. Walk with your rosary. The Mercy Walk will start and end at Santa Rosa Parish. Wear comfortable footwear. For those unable to walk, intercessory prayer will be held in the church. Bring your breakfast, snacks, drinks, water. Remember, bring and share is always encouraged. Bring your rosaries and pens and paper. Wear red or white. After Mass, there will be a quiet Eucharistic adoration in the church. Jerseys will be available on sale before Divine Mercy Sunday.
At TTT, our journalists are on the ground, seeking the facts and reporting on the people, events, and issues that affect your life. We have Trinidad and Tobago covered, from Citrus to Charlottesville, Crown Point to Moruga. Our news reaches further on any smart device. TTT News, first at 6 p.m. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Come closer, let me give you some love.
This is more than jazz. This is Vibrations, the experience.
On Saturday, May 3rd, from 5 to 11 p.m., we head to Sound Forge for culture, love, and artistry. Come and experience love and vibrations with Vaunted Big Four,
Set my soul on fire.
Freetown Collective, jam to the beats of Charlotte Bailey, Joshua Regrello, and Kute, and sing along with Jaron Nuss and many more artists. Early bird tickets $300 are now available at Cache, In Excess, 519 Restaurant and Prindellas, or online at islandetickets.com or call 771-2470 for more info. Come and feel the energy. Vibrations, the experience. Saturday, May 3rd, Sound Forge. See you there.
Blessings on my nation.
Constructive Talk with Pastor Google and Nicholas Live.
It's all about constructive dialogue, provoking factual conversation.
That's right, as we actively engage with real people on the ground. You, the listeners. Topical issues, informative.
Empowering you to think critically. Constructive talk with Pastor Google and Nicholas Live.
12 to 3 p.m. Monday to Friday on Talk City, your address for talk.
But tell me, what are our social values? And tell me, how do we judge success? By a man's car, his clothes and his shoes. That is how we measure progress. I see the building skyscraper, things of stone and steel.
Yes, indeed, on Talk City 91.1 FM. It's just about 23 minutes to 1 o'clock. Trusting that all is well with you wherever you might be at this point in time. But I know that you've made a wise choice because you are right here with us on Constructive Talk. Good afternoon to the one and only Pastor Google. How are you doing, sire?
I'm blessed. Blessed. Good morning. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to Talk City 91.1 FM. And it's a very nice day outside, beautiful day. I'm here, but I wish I was home washing or power washing or doing something because the sun is so nice outside. You know, it inspires me to clean. It feels that way.
I still shock, yes, because I don't know if you're trying to impress. Because I say you don't want to be home to relax. You say you want to power wash. Hats off to you, sir. So you want to, is work you want to work? You didn't want to stay home and relax, so you want to power wash? That's what you're telling me?
Yeah, well, that's me, you know. That's me. I do my thing. I enjoy. I love a clean place. That's just me. I love a clean place, you know? Yeah, that's just me.
Well, I know. Knowing you as I do, we have plenty to talk about coming up in a short. Maybe from around after 1, NLCB draw comes up at 3 minutes to, and before that we have Richard Solomon and Viewpoint. But even before that time, I'm pretty sure, knowing you as I do, where were you over the weekend, if you don't mind me asking, and what do you have to report, sir?
Over the weekend, I take time to, you know, give my God what he deserves. Not only politics, everybody know I may be interested in. I still spend a lot of time giving God what is due to him. A lot of time on a weekend. The weekend is really my time to refresh myself and reflect on my life. Because I'm training up a young man to be somebody prince or king. So there's some examples that I try to set and put in place for him. So when he sees me sitting and reflecting on life and thinking about moving forward, what am I going to do this week coming? How am I going to do it? You know, he see me putting out my clothes for work, being very organized. Okay, so I'm wearing this white shirt, I'm going to wear this, I'm going to wear that. And I try to set that example so that he will know how to put his life in order. A lot of us walking around and our lives are disorder. We have no order in our life and structure within our life. But we like to talk about other people's life. We like to give advice. We like to see all that wrong with somebody else, but within and I learned that within, you know, my own space. So I try to set order and structure to my, and I got that from my loving mother. With Yvette Henry, I love her to bits. There's nobody could say anything about my mom that, you know, my mother is my queen. You know, she has taught me to become a man, and what it means to be a man, and what women look for. That they would admire and respect.
Hats off to you. You don't often see as much men being able to say, look, I spend the time over the weekend doing some introspective. introspection in my life. I took that time to spend some time with my God, because at the end of the day, He's at the helm, He's our source, He's our shield. We can do nothing without Him. And so to have a man say that, it is encouraging, because we need these type of men. We need people like you, which is not to say that there aren't, but I'm saying for you to be actually so vocal to say, look, this is what I do. I spend time with my God. Here's what I do. I want to be that example to my son. I want him to see how a man is supposed to act, how he's supposed to treat even his wife as he gets, whenever that time comes and he has a wife. So you're being that example. So hats off to you.
That is important. One of the things too this weekend, I have a friend who asked me to come and bless his business place and his office and stuff like that. A Muslim friend, a very good Muslim friend. And I asked him, I said, so how come you didn't? Well, he had his imam there, but he wanted me to be there, and I want to say good afternoon to him, Mr. Rocklin Mohammed. And I say Rocklin Mohammed. Good afternoon to you, sir, and to your family and all your friends who I would have met yesterday also. So I did that. And there's some things I was made aware of. Yeah, there's some things that I was made aware of that I want to highlight today. I find it to be very interesting, and it's something that I think Trinidad and Tobago, people in Trinidad and Tobago need to be aware of. Once I find it, I would bring it to people's awareness. It's something that's happening in the UK. And a lot of us don't understand, some of us who are Christians don't understand how privileged we are. Very privileged. Because in the UK, they're banning people from preaching on the streets. You can't pray for people, lay hands, and these things are becoming outlawed in the UK. While some of us are enjoying those privileges here right now, there are some people who are not. They are going to be jailed, or they may be charged. And I think that's something that, some people need to be happy about, that they have the privilege still to do it while they have the opportunity to. And let's see if I find it. Yes, UK makes laws to ban preaching and stuff like that. I don't know if you're aware of it, Nico.
Yeah, and there's certain words you're not allowed to say anymore. You have to be very mindful.
Well, let me play this for you. Okay, just now. I want to play this because I made sure and listen and listen to this.
Welcome back to TBN Tonight with me, Martin Daw. The Labour-ran Rushmore Borough Council has sparked outrage by proposing a sweeping injunction that could see Christian street preachers in prison for up to 2 years if the injunction is breached. Now, over claims of causing offence or distress. Now, under the proposed terms, Christians will be banned from praying for individuals, handing out religious leaflets or Bibles by hand, and laying hands on people in prayer, even with their permission.
Listen, this thing has been creeping up on us for the longest while. It has come to fruition, it has come to roost, where in certain countries, our freedom to worship our God is now, you are liable to be jailed. That is what it's reached to, the freedom to worship. I don't know if we in Trinidad should realize how blessed we are, that we can still say Jesus Christ is Lord, that we can still lay hands, that we can still praise, that we can still even start with prayer at functions.
Well, listen to this. So, there's some people who would think that, well, nothing can happen yet, man. That's just old news, that's small news. I want to play for you a police officer had an encounter with a Christian person. Listen to this. You listening?
Anywhere.
No, miss, you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church grounds, by the way.
You're not allowed to sing church songs outside of
church songs or church
You're not allowed
grounds. That's fine.
You're not allowed. She just said you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church.
Outside of church grounds, unless you have authorized by the church to do this kind of song.
He's not saying anything anymore. Are you saying that you don't care about the Human Rights Act? You're not?
Listen to me.
You know where that is?
What part of London?
That's in Croydon. That's by the underground, Brixton Underground, by Iceland. You know I know that? There's a church that I would normally go to in the UK by the name of Rapture Ministries Open Bible. They have a homeless ministry where they feed the homeless right outside Iceland by Brixton underground train station.
So it's not by chance that they target that area, is what you're saying?
Thank you. And they feed the homeless every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I was there last year with a big pot spoon, taking out soup, cutting up bread.
You hear what?
The reason why I'm bringing it up because I know it. I'm wondering now personally how this is going to affect.
But here's the thing: the woman was irate. You cannot say you can't sing.
No.
Outside of the church grounds.
No, you can't.
So my human rights.
That's what she asked.
To say my God, to talk about my God or to sing. So in other words, they're saying you can't say how great.
No. There's another video somebody sent me to where it's even reaching to the place where even if you stand by your window and it looks or it appears as though you're praying.
Jesus. I see no caller online. Let me pick up the call. Hi, good afternoon. Hey, Richard Solomon. Hi, sir. We were trying to get on to you a short while ago. Here's the thing. I want you to chime in on this. And we were talking about certain parts. Well, in England now, the law is that you're not allowed to just talk about Jesus, talk about God. It's in the constraints of church, yes, but you can't come out of there and talk about God. You could be
in public,
in the public domain. And there was another one. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Because we're talking about jail time. We're talking about fines if it is that you're in that position. What are your thoughts?
So is it narrowed to Jesus and God, or is it all religious sort of promotion?
It's narrowed only to Jesus because there are other videos that I got from the UK where the Muslims are free to put up like posters in the bus and in certain walk paths you can see them putting up stuff like that. But Christians are not allowed to.
That is a very strange law because if it is indeed a law, but how would they write a law? I'm really just trying to wrap my mind around it because I hadn't heard of it before. How would they write a law to debar one particular belief set or belief system versus another? I don't understand, and I really wouldn't be able to comment too much until I do a little bit of reading. That sounds very strange. Now, I can understand because there are some spaces where they say they've debarred people from promoting religious beliefs, dogma, etc. publicly. So do it in your churches, synagogues, temples, mandirs, at your home, in your private spaces, but not in your public spaces, because it just has caused so much trouble. Because more murder and killing has been done in the name of God than probably anything else. And when I say God, I mean that very broadly. But it would be wrong, in my view, without knowing any more, to identify one particular group of people and their belief system. That sounds very persecutory, in my opinion.
Well, if I didn't hear it, my 2 years, I would have said maybe, it's fake news and so forth. But it isn't. It's rules, and there's certain words you're not allowed to say. Jesus, God, anything out of your church area.
So just to be clear, the Muslims are okay the Hindus are okay, etc. But the Christian denominations are not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I could play you the clip with the police officer telling the young lady that she's not allowed, and I know the area exactly where this is happening. It's in Brixton, next to the underground train station by Iceland. That's exactly where this happened. Because I know the church. When I go to the UK, I normally go and do the homeless ministry with them.
Take a listen.
Take a listen to this.
Take a listen.
Okay.
Anywhere. No, miss, you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church grounds, by the way.
You're not allowed to sing church songs outside of
church grounds. That's fine.
You're not allowed. She just said you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church.
Outside of church grounds, unless you have authorized by the church to do this kind of song.
He's not saying anything anymore. Are you saying that you don't care about the Human Rights Act? You're lost?
Your thoughts, and there was one with the police. You had
that was the one with the police, and then there's the.
Tonight with me, Martin Daubney. Now, the Labour-ran Rushmore Borough Council has sparked outrage by proposing a sweeping injunction that could see Christian street preachers imprisoned for up to 2 years if the injunction is breached. Now, over claims of causing offence or distress. Now, under the proposed terms, Christians will be banned from praying for individuals, handing out religious leaflets or Bibles by hand, and laying hands on people in prayer, even with their permission.
Yeah.
That sounds insane. But he said it was a proposed ordinance or something like that?
Yeah, but they passed it. It's passed.
Wow.
Yeah, it's passed.
Well, wonders never cease. Because, it's so interesting. Historically, it was the British who, in the name of God, conquered all these lands and converted everyone to Christianity, either by persuasion or force, very often by force, and now it is they now who are saying,
but you know that
you cannot promote.
Yeah, but you know that there is also the Church of England that is proposing to change their name from the Church of England, and there are several other names that are being bandied about that they want to put. They want to name it. The taking of the word church.
Yes, that's to be eradicated.
No
church.
No church.
Call it.
They're naming it to, I think it's community or something.
Something that says community.
Something they're
so
getting
all
rid of the
encompassing.
name.
You can't. It can't be church.
And in some of the Christian schools, they have taken away the celebration of Easter and have introduced Halloween. They are more pushing the Halloween agenda. They have.
They should take away both.
Well, they're doing.
Halloween has no place in the church as far as I'm concerned, but neither does Easter. Historically, it doesn't make sense.
Right. So that's what they're promoting now. That's what they're pushing now. That agenda.
That is interesting. If you find I'm a little lost for words, I am. I certainly need to go and do some reading and listening and looking, because one would have never, at least I would not have expected. But maybe I don't pay enough attention to what's going on.
It's not shocking. It's not shocking to me. Why? Because I know of the councils in the UK. They're not very accepting and tolerant of churches. So I know that for a fact.
That takes me back to some Roman history. So it is widely accepted that it was Emperor Constantine, I think it was, that caused the Romans, that took the Romans in the direction of Christ belief, or belief in Christ. However, if you go a little deeper into that history, one of the things we note is that you would see churches on the surface, so like at the road level. But if you go into those churches, there were secret passages to get to temples to Roman gods, Mithra and others. So apparently, this was a sort of a political and maybe even, certainly a political move on the part of Constantine to sort of coalesce and get people under one thinking, because that was good for political power in the day. There was no separation of church and state. Yeah, it was good for political power, and therefore you found, and we still find today, that there are many Roman festivals of Roman origin that show up in modern day Christianity, including Easter and others. either Roman or pre-Roman origin, but they are not of Christian origin. In fact, they come from other spaces. But basically, what Constantine and others did, and I'm making a point here, they tried to bring this thing into an acceptable form for as many people as possible, so that the Christians would accept it, but so too would be those who were of a Roman faith or Roman belief systems or what have you. And in the day and time, that made sense politically. Yeah? The thing, though, is now we wonder, are they now retreating to some ancient sort of belief systems or roots, or are they showing their true colors? These are just questions. I don't know. But it's interesting. It's interesting that the group, because if you follow the history, it was the Romans who eventually invaded these British Isles and other places and so on. And the people that we see before us today who are called British and others, they've come from many other places. English has its roots in European languages, as an example. So we wonder now, are they just showing their true colors? I don't know. I'm not making any pronouncements. I am just wondering.
Food for thought. We'll see how this goes. I mean, I know that this has been encroaching for some time, but I did not expect it to. But you see, and I think that's what happens where laws are concerned. You know, they give you a little, and then it seems as though they're pulling back. But if you do not do your research, you could be caught unawares. I cannot imagine living in England at this time, and I'm going to call up a specific person who just went back there actually. And to know that I can't say, my God.
I would be comfortable in a space where I'm told, listen, you want to promote your religious beliefs, any of them, do so in private spaces. So you are free to have church services and various other types of worship and so on in your private spaces, in your homes, or in places where they are private. But don't come onto the streets and do that. I would be okay with that, that would not bother me. Because there are ways to, as the Christians call it, evangelize that is not sort of in that public space, because that creates problems. But it can't be Christians alone. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, we can say we are a secular society, and that's okay. I have no trouble with that either. So people have their own beliefs, and it is unique to them. They have their beliefs, and they go about their lives, and they don't contravene the laws of the land. But when you go in the direction of saying this particular group, I would be interested to know how these council people came up with that and how it got by the entire group of them, and then what will the rest of the society do? Will they follow suit, or will there be legal challenges? I would imagine there would be legal challenges to this, just on the basis of discrimination against the Christian faith.
This conversation has to continue. But to leaving on a note, I still want to be able to, if I feel on the train, on the tube in England, if I still want to say how great is our God, I still want to be able, if I feel like sitting down and saying how great is our God, I should be able to.
What is evangelizing versus personal expression?
But you heard what they said.
The person singing how great is our God in your example.
Basically, that's what they're saying, though.
Definition. They'll have to come up with that.
Yeah.
But it would have to be for everyone. This is the point. It can't be for me alone versus you alone. That's crazy. I don't know how supposedly learned people make such decisions, but I don't know all that went into it, so I'm holding back on my commentary, but it sounds crazy to me.
We'll continue our conversation not tomorrow, Wednesday, Richard. Thank you for a viewpoint this afternoon on Talk City 91.1 FM. Getting ready for, what are we getting ready for, sir?
Constructive talk.
What are we getting ready for, sir? The NLCB draw.
Oh, sorry.
For Monday, 14th April 2025, first we draw this afternoon's winning playway number. And the winning number, it's 14. Lucky mark, it's money. That's number 14. And starting today, our Mega Mix prizes have been upsized with bigger mega payouts for no additional cost. It's $85 with a Mega Ball, $120 with a Mega Ultra Ball, $130 with a Mega Extreme Ball, all for a minimum bet of $1 each. Now for our Mega Mix selection. players play remark number 14. Money has called along with all white balls. Keep on playing. You've won the base payout of $26 for every dollar played. Remember, you can win upsized prizes when you play the Mega Mix. Now we draw this afternoon's winning pick 2 numbers. Let's pick the number. It is 11. Number again 11. Now for the second pick to a number. Second pick number. The Mega Ball, remember, if the white ball calls, there'll be no extra payout. However, when the pick to Mega Ball calls, if players wagered an extra $5 minimum on the Mega Ball, they will win the base payout and the additional Mega payout. And we have a Mega Ball. Congratulations, you're a pick to Mega winner. Pick to numbers 11 and 12 have called in that order with the Mega Ball. Not only have you won the base payout, but an additional Mega payout. And now for this afternoon's winning pick 4 numbers. First number, it is 0. Second number, it is 2. Third number, it is 1. And the fourth with 0. This afternoon's winning pick 4 numbers 0, 2, 1, and 0 in that order. Congratulations to all our winners and some online news. Congratulations to last week's 37 Cashpot Jackpot winners. You don't have to wait for the draw. Add instant win to your Cashpot bet for your chance to win on the spot. To date, over 1,500,000 players have won over $25,500,000 in Cashpot instant win prizes. And no one chose Saturday's winning Lotto Plus numbers, so the jackpot has rolled. Wednesday's Lotto Plus jackpot estimated at $11,500,000. Remember to get your ticket to the next level. Add the multiplier to your bet for only $5. Get your tickets today. And why not try our scratch game $5 million cash blowout? Tickets cost $50 with 22 chances to win over $5 million in cash prizes. Reveal the $200 or $400 symbol and win that amount instantly. Scratch, match, and win today. Thank you for joining us. Do so again at 4 o'clock this afternoon for another Playway Pick 2 and Pick 4 trip.
G 2025 Road to the Red House.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. We report the news. News in real time. TTT News, first at 6 p.m. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
North Coast Jazz returns the weekend of May 31st, 2025. We begin on May 30th with Movie Night, which features the Pan Am story, an impactful account of a band that changed the paradigm of steel band music. On May 31st, it's a musical tribute to Dennis Franklin Williams, The Merchant, A Caribbean Connection. Enjoy performances by Ketty Peters-Shaw, Leston Poole, Joshua Regrello, Terry Lyons, and from Barbados, the incredible Arturo Tappan. North Coast Jazz 2025. Join us in Blanchard's for an unforgettable weekend of music and culture. Come bask in the picturesque views of the North Coast. Experience jazz, calypso, and steel pan at its best. I feel we jamming. Connect with fellow music lovers. Mark your calendars for the weekend of May 30th and 31st. North Coast Jazz 2025, a Caribbean connection. Tickets available at Cache Eastgate, Port of Spain, and Gulf City. The Trini Shop, Massey Stores, Trin City, and Trin City Mall, and online at islandetickets.com.
Every Wednesday, join the Holy Trinity Cathedral for night worship, music, prayer, and a reflection on Talk City 91.1 FM from 9 p.m. to 9:45 p.m. Brought to you by the Holy Trinity Cathedral of Trinidad and Tobago.
Learn how to treat your skin. This is Melanin Matters.
The skin is something that affects each and every one of us, and it's such an amazing organ. It goes way more than just making us look good.
Melanin Matters, here on the Mid-Morning Mojo at 11:15 a.m. on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Melanin Matters on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Yes, to be popular is my accident. Riches could pick up himself and leave. To locate a friend, cause we know where she went. But a bad character had to retreat. Character is built on foundation, on how we deal with people we meet. It takes measures of love and compassion. From these qualities there is no retreat. So if we still in the port or about to sail, know that in this life character will prevail. All the fortune we may possess, all the fame and all the success, when we finally lay to rest, what remains is character. How we scheme and how we connive, things we fight for when we are alive. Man, the only thing to survive, what remains is character. It's the only thing that is real. It's real. It's the hardest thing to conceive. Whether life is easy or hard, if we feeling happy or sad, our precious character, the one thing we must safeguard. Our talent and skill could really take us far. Have us sitting on top of the world, but it's our character tells exactly who we are. No matter how much in life we control. So if we feel that Jaja's intention is for us to be unscrupulous and mean, and the object in life is self-preservation, then we are not reading the lines between. While our earthly gains we're ready to boast about, it's our character that will always stand out. All the fortune we may possess, all the fame and all the success, when we finally lay to rest, what remains is character. Leave a fancy house on the hill, make sure we clear every bill. We could do all of that and still what remains is character. It's the only thing that is real. It's real. It's the hardest thing to conceive. Whether life is easy or hard, if we feeling happy or sad, our precious character, the one thing we must safeguard. Humans sometimes use this outer shell to greet you daily with a big smile, but we know deep inside they don't wish you well. If it's not the clothes you wear, your hairstyle, but life's character when it keeps grinding, It could polish you or grind you to dust. And every waking day it will keep reminding what we will become. It's all up to us. If to lie and to cheat are the only things we know, it's our character, its quality is going to show. All the fortune we may possess, all the fame and all the success, when we finally lay to rest, what remains is character. We could say a prayer every day and don't practice the things we say. We could do that from June to May, what remains is character. It's the only thing that is real. It's real. It's the hardest thing to conceal. Whether life is easy or hard, if we feeling happy or sad, our precious character, the one thing we must safeguard. We know that character is our destiny. It's in all of us, we cannot pretend. It's how we deal with good, how we treat adversity. It's not where we start, but how we will end. Character is there when no one is watching, built in the secret chambers of the heart. Must be careful with the things we still clutching. Could turn out to be a poison dart if we let our character be faithful and strong. No obstacle could tempt us to tear it down. All the fortune we may possess, all the fame and all the success, when we finally lay to rest, what remains is character. All the victories that we claim, all the wild beasts that we tame, when they finally call we name, what remains is character. It's the only thing that is real. It's real. It's the hardest thing to conceal. Whether life is easy or hard, if we feeling happy or sad, our precious character, the one thing we must safeguard.
From whence my solace comes, it's wielding no sword, my shield is the Lord. But some here on earth march to a different drum. Yes, they live to fight, feel that might is right. But those who vain to build their own statue, on the best and hide themselves, they urge. Humility is the greatest virtue. So let them brag and boast, the last shall be first. For all who feel the Almighty was so big and powerful, calling themselves majesty. Every knee shall bow. God alone is, He alone is the one and only. To Him alone I bow. So whether you are ruler, Pharaoh, Caliph, or Lord, somewhere, somehow, every knee shall bow. Every knee shall bow. Bow unto the Lord. Every knee shall bow. And there are those who prey on the weak all day. Prefer when you're meek, turn the other cheek. Only the Almighty dollar they obey. See them sell their soul for silver and gold. Their fortune keeps mounting like a tower. They don't know the meaning of enough. They like to equate money with power. But things material rust, crumble into dust. For all who feel the Almighty, important and powerful.
All right, so we're back at you, Trinidad and Tobago, and I know that my Tobago people are locked on. You know, I always have to say hello to some people who listen to me in the UK at St. John and Elizabeth Hospital. They have been with me from since I started. I used to work at St. John and Elizabeth Hospital in St. John Wood. I worked there for how much years, boy? 5 years? As a theater nurse there. And it was really, really, really nice working there, the time that I did. So I want to say good afternoon to those persons who are locked on from St. John and Elizabeth Hospital. Nicole, you know, I'm playing this song for a particular reason, you know.
And please a little higher for me, man. And even before you say that, I need to just stop you in the tracks because, you see, they say give you an inch, you take a yard. And I hear you talking about Tobago is your people as though, you know, and I say to myself, how you mean there's your people, boy? I don't understand.
I'll tell you how they are my people.
Well, you're good, yes?
I'll tell you how they are my people. I remember one year I went to Tobago. I used to pastor. Let me tell you how they are my people.
Oh, you
just want people.
You holding up the mic now. Well, look trouble
because
here.
You see,
I look
you
for my
always
own
want
worries.
to. Yeah, because you always want to say things, and when you get a response, I hope you all take it on the way.
Alrighty.
So I was the pastor of Jesus Elam Revival Assembly in Calder Hall, Tobago.
Right. You come good day.
And the church took very good care of me. I was in want of nothing. When I reached Tobago, there was a car waiting there for me to drive to the guest house that I would be staying in. The food was impeccable. So you want to question my love for Tobagonians?
No, I'm not questioning your love for Tobagonians. You could love them. But you see, the way you were acting as though they love you.
Yeah, they love me.
No, let me finish. You're getting on as though they love you in a way that they more than me. You're making me feel as though... No, let me finish. Because you claim them.
Yes, I did. I will.
In a way.
In a way.
Know,
I will.
As they belong to you.
Yeah, they belong to me.
With all due respect. No, sir.
Who do they belong to? I don't hear no Tobagonians calling in and talking to you. Let's go. If you want to go there, we can go there, you know.
No, but you see...
People from Tobago calling.
You like commerce.
No, that's the commerce. That is the truth.
No, and here now, you know your peeps going and call. Whether hear this now, whether they're from Tobago or not, they
Mr.
call
Monks and George. Let me hear you, Mr. Monks and George. You're always saying you want to call. This time is for Tobagonians to call in. Anybody from Tobago who listening, want to this?
622 the mic, 6224911. We calling Tobago.
Is that English, Michael? Right from London. I feel it's Mike from England.
622, it ain't working properly. 6224911. We talking to Tobago.
Yeah, I want to talk to Tobago people. But there's a reason why I'm playing this song, Nicole. You're not going to get me away from telling you why I choose this song today. You see this song?
Well, play it up a little bit so I can hear it a little bit more now.
That's not how I'll play it up. I'll play it up. That's Karina Shea.
You know, I just make a boo-boo there, people. Hear this, eh? I went around to see the song that was playing. Silly me. I should have known it had to be a Karina Shea.
Some here on earth march to a different drum. Yes, they live to fight. Feel that might is right. But those of it to build
One of this caller from Tobago. Hello, good morning. Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Tell him it's only Tobago, eh?
Good afternoon.
I remember you in Jerusalem in Color Hall. I used to do that church. I remember you and your wife used to come.
Who's this?
I used to attend the church there, but because of change of residence, I moved out.
Who's this?
I remember you very well.
Who's this?
I'm in the countryside, Bloody Bay. I'm calling from Bloody Bay.
What's your name?
I am Baptiste, Eva Baptiste. I used to attend there.
Why? So you remember me?
Yes, I remember you and your wife and your son. You used to come up on a Sunday.
Yes.
Miss Baptiste, if you see how we grinning from ear to ear,
yes,
because we're not online, you should see the face.
That is a nice greeting, you know.
Listen to me now, Miss Baptiste. I used to love to come up there and preach. And I sure you used to enjoy my sermons.
Of course, yes.
All right, stop it now.
No, let Miss Baptiste talk a little more. Let Miss Baptiste talk a little more. Talk, Miss Baptiste, talk.
I don't know if you remember nursery.
Yes, I remember nursery.
Yeah, right. All of us used to work together in health. Yes.
I appreciate this call.
And Sister Moses, Sherry Moses, a lot of us used to be there.
Yes. Thank you very much for
You're
calling.
Most welcome. I always listen to your program, you know. Yes, I always listen.
All right, I appreciate that.
I finally affirm you all on 91.1.
Right, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Mom.
Nurse Baptiste.
I am one of your followers.
Thank you very much.
Nurse Baptiste, good afternoon. How are you, my darling? All is well?
I'm okay, but I retired now.
Oh gosh, and you sound so strong, man.
Well, yes, I'm in the country, you know, getting everything fresh.
This is what we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay, so you're looking for a next person that you could make feel special from Trinidad. Are willing to hear?
No problem.
Thank you, my darling. Thank you.
Pastor Gugu, you know, I wanted to big up our ex-minister of public utilities, you know.
Mr. Marvin Gonzalez.
Marvin Gonzalez.
Yes.
He did a wonderful work here by us in Tobago by installing that storage tank for us.
Right.
Water like that 4 times the summer has to come into my home.
Yes.
And with our hard-working representative Tobago East,
Ayana Webster Roy, yes.
Hard-working woman on the field.
Beautiful.
Because I remember she coming here and we were talking to her. She wants to know our problem. And she called the Mr. Williams in Watson. She said, Mr. Williams, I'm putting you on the speaker so the people could hear you.
Right.
And he said, no problem. And whatever he said he was going to be done, it was
done. Thank you.
Water like that.
Thank you very much. And you're not ungrateful.
No.
And you come to say thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I can't be ungrateful. I know who working for me, you know.
Right.
I know who working to build this country, Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you very much, Mom.
You're most
chat.
welcome.
All right.
Thank you, Miss Baptiste, my new friend from Tobago.
I don't know about that.
You're most welcome.
He jealous.
Oh, I can never jealous.
6224911. Let's see if we could find maybe one more person that
from Tobago
that loving up on Mr. You know who, Pastor You know who this afternoon.
But look at how life is. God is so good.
Yes,
Lady, I told you after I used to pastor the church in Tobago, if I was lying.
But it took you back, because I saw you looking.
Yeah, boy. That was real. Those were the days.
Yeah.
I remember there was a young man who used to play keyboard. He used to play keyboard and drums at the same time. I don't know how he used to do it. But he was really gifted.
Yeah.
And I must say the young people, there's it was real. Those were the days, man. Those are the days. I know that the church is still there. It's not in Cola Hall anymore. The church is more. I didn't remember where. So forgive me, Pastor Mackenzie. So forgive me.
Let's take another call. 6224911.
We're taking Tobago people.
Only Tobago, eh?
For now.
Yeah.
Only Tobago for now. Let me say good morning to Mr. Nigel O'Connor.
You could say good morning. I will say good afternoon to Mr. Nigel O'Connor. Good afternoon, Mr. O'Connor. Where are Tobago people? You're both so much with them. Look, they're not even calling. Look, So I win. You said that plenty people would call, then call, so I win the, well, lucky thing I don't bet. So that's it, I win. That's it.
Lion of Judah, to him only I
Mr. Mount St. George, you really gonna do me this, man?
my people's mandate upon somewhere.
Mr. Mount St. George, help him save face. Call now, please.
Whether you are royal, king, queen, knight upon somewhere, somehow, every knee shall bow. Every knee.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Joel.
Hi, good afternoon.
I'm calling from the West, Tobago.
Say that again, please.
I am calling from the West, and Mr. Krong Point, you're calling in.
Oh, Mr. Krong Point. Oh, but sorry, Mr. Krong Point. I forget. I forget here, boy, but you know, Mr. Mount St. George has always been calling now.
Yeah. I will best in Tobago.
Who's that, Mr. Krong Point? Mr. Mount St. George? So how you going?
I'm good, Pastor.
What's happening in Tobago? Tell me.
Well, things is in good person Tobago, regardless of all the fake news and the lies and the
fake news,
and the that and the other. We're looking strong in Tobago, so don't be afraid.
All right. Once you tell me that, I'm feeling a little good.
Huh?
Once you tell me that, I'm feeling a little better.
Yes. Things looking good.
All right. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
What's his name?
Mr. Krong Point.
Mr. Krong Point? Mr. Krong Point? Yes, can I be your friend, sir? Kindly.
You want to be?
No problem. Our arms are open to everybody, you know.
Thank you, because I'm a Tobago girl at heart. Everybody knows that, of course.
I know that.
Yes.
We share the love right away.
All right, thank you.
Mr.
Thank you so
Point,
much.
just be careful you're sharing, love. Be careful. It's more than here now. Thank you very much, Mr. Krong Point.
Thank you, Mr. Krong Point.
Same to you, sir. Same to you. Mr. Krong Point, be careful with the sharing. They love you now. They have to be careful.
You know what?
Not every skin teeth is clear.
It's great. Tell me about it. You know what? And I'm going to change it up. Just a slight tad. I was thinking about the young lady, the young guy. I think he's an attorney who came. The youth.
Yeah.
That was good on Friday. Yeah. And one of the things and specifically her, she was talking about some of the services for the young people, and she spoke about benefiting. And how sometimes, the young people do not, and I like to pick up from a young people, but taking it from a young person, I had to listen to her. She said sometimes it seems as though they may want to have it on a platter, here. Mm-hmm. Whereas the ministry has various, and she named a couple of them well accessible for the youth. And and in conversation with a young lady again last night, I was saying to myself, how important is it for us to identify when there is good and when there is not so good? We could talk about it. That's okay. But if it is that something is good, why not amplify it? Why not speak to it? Why not share it as opposed to putting it under the carpet? I don't know if you agree with me.
What are you talking about specifically?
I was talking about, you see, if you had the Tobago blood in you, you'd understand. So what I'm trying to say is what that young lady was talking about. Remember, she named at least 6, 7, 8 services, 9 services that she says for that youth, that are accessible for the youth. Mm-hmm. And she was making the point that sometimes she feels, even as a youth, that even though I didn't agree 100%, but however, she's a youth, so I had to take what she said. She says sometimes they want it on a platter.
They do?
Rather than go and it's there.
Yeah, but they do want it on a platter.
Well, not all.
Majority?
No. Don't. Youth, sorry, I'm picking up for you here. We having a next youth talk this week?
Of course.
Oh.
And they come in to tell, I bring in the ones to tell you who wants it on the platter.
All right, if you say so.
I bring in the young people who want it on a platter.
You sure about that?
Very sure about that.
All right. Young people, listen, I always in all your corner, eh? And I find Pastor Google's be a little bit biased and he don't give all your grace. So I, on your side, see how he's smiling and shaking his head? That means he has some plans that I don't even know about. So I wondering if I need to get my people. Come on now, because you're ready. I think you're ready for me. This not at all. I'll show you something. I'll show you something.
Let me tell you something. I want to talk. All right, so it's 1:30. I want to deal with somebody. I have a call on the line. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor. How are you guys doing?
Hi, good afternoon. Who's this?
Well, it's all Mr. Toronto, so.
Any love blessings to you, I love you, I love Pastor Google. I'll make a good decision, right?
Mr. Toronto?
Yes, sir.
You're coming along to vote? Mr. Toronto?
Yeah, I have to vote here in Canada.
Oh, yeah, the stay home and vote in Canada?
Yeah.
Mr. Toronto, I don't know, you're calling from Toronto and the line's crossing up. Well, it's supposed to have good telephone service over there. Well, it's first world.
Here you know. Hear you.
Mr. Toronto? See again? Mr. Toronto, call me back. I have a next caller here from Tobago. Hello, good afternoon.
No, this is not from Tobago. This is from Claxton Bay, Mr.
Oh, Mr. Claxton Bay.
How are you? Good afternoon, Miss Nicole.
Hi, sir. But we wanted from Tobago, but you're getting, so go ahead.
All right. I'm so proud of the youth and the learning they have and that the government had offered to them. I'm afraid of electrical. But recently, I have a young man coming to my home, and he could enter any panel. And some of the wonders he has done in my panel, I'm overwhelmed. Understand?
Excellent.
And it's a lot of learning they get in from MIC and on those other places. Right? You understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to support them. We need to support them and give them grace, and we shouldn't criticize them.
In my house, electrical. I respect electrical. And that little boy was able to go in my 220 to 110 and all that.
How old was he? How old was the young lad?
Okay. And all his learning came from MIC.
How old is he?
21 years old.
A child. Isn't that something?
A young guy.
Yeah, man.
With a very, very dense potential and moving on. Right now, I'm waiting on him for him to come from classes this afternoon to do a little job for me, electrical wise.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling, sir. Yes, we have to give them a chance. We can't talk about.
I'm not saying that I'm giving them a chance.
Who the cap fit wear it?
No,
I did not say you, sir.
You said me earlier on.
Not.
But that's okay.
I didn't say that.
The young people know I love them. The reason why I've given them a voice on Talk City and I've given them a voice all wherever I am is because I love them. I went and sourced them out.
Whatever.
Everybody frightened.
They're running for cover.
No respect of persons. Them bandit.
Well, here this Natural and Tobago, I have something I want to touch on. You know, this whole year I've been talking about character. Since the beginning of this year, character. I've been talking about leadership. We're talking about leaders. We're talking about character. We're talking about persons that you could look up to. Right? Persons that you can look up to Trinidad and Tobago. And something happened over the weekend. I want to highlight. I want to talk about what happened over the weekend. That I want to hear your thoughts on it.
A leader, how to choose a leader. That's the most relevant question today. Now that the man retire, people spitting fire.
So I want you to join me after the break. I'll come back after the break. And I want to play something for you. I need to get into it because I really want to hear your views on it. We're talking about leadership. We're talking about leadership. We're talking about character.
They say that.
And something happened over the weekend, and I want to highlight. And it's something that I am glad that came out into the public domain, so people could see people for who they are. Stop playing games with people. Stop making people believe that you are something that you are not. Let me tell you something. My grandmother, God rest her soul,
must be one whose vision
always used to say to me as a little boy, be sure that your sins will find you out. She always used to tell me, you're playing smart with foolishness. You go ahead, and you would see that your sins will find you out. People will see you for who you are. Your character will show. And I want to play something. We're going for a break.
be service.
We're going to come right back. Don't touch your dial. Stay right here on Talk City 91.1. Don't mistake the number. 91.1 FM.
Lenten offers us all a very special opportunity to grow in our relationship with God and to deepen our commitment with the way of life rooted in our baptism. In our busy world, Lent provides us with an opportunity to reflect upon our patterns, to pray more deeply, experience sorrow for what we've done and failed to do. In today's reflection, we hear the cry of the needy. The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. By the Lord, this has been done, and it is wonderful in our eyes. Matthew 21, verse 42. The parable in today's gospel of the wealthy landowner who sends his servants out to collect the produce from his tenant farmers is a cautionary tale about what can go wrong when we try to build things on our own, even the kingdom of God. At the same time, it is a great consolation to know that the Lord is not stymied by our rejections. One might think this is just another example of Jesus facing off the scribes and Pharisees, the religious authorities of his day. But there is something there for all of us, regardless of our canonical station in life. We too can get it wrong, can reject what should be embraced, can drive off messengers whose messages we don't like. Our hope, finally, is only in the Lord, who makes a firm foundation for our lives, even out of something we initially rejected.
Lenten Reflections, sponsored by Lotus, the confidence to create.
Lotus soybean oil is a pure, refined, and cholesterol-free vegetable oil extracted from high-quality soya beans. Whether it's baking, cooking, light frying, or used in mayonnaise, spreads, and sauces, Lotus soybean oil is free from additives and artificial colors, which gives your meal that perfect look and flavor. Available in small and large sizes for the average user. Use Lotus soybean oil today and get the confidence to create.
As we gear up for General Elections 2025, Talk City 91.1 FM asks you, did you know? Did you know that Commonwealth citizens can also be deemed electors? A Commonwealth citizen must reside at the given address for at least 1 year from the date residence was granted. A field check is done. Once valid, the status is changed from non-elector to active. Commonwealth citizens over the age of 18 who have not met the 1 year residence qualification to go on to the list of electors are referred to as adult non-elector. Did you know? Well, now you know. Talk City 91.1 FM, keeping you in the know.
Talk City 91.1 FM gives you all the updates on the road to the Red
Get
House.
ready. Stephen Marley is on his way.
From jungle to Rima, me. Tifalita matches, you.
The Rhythm and Soul Festival introduces the son of the legend, the one and only Stephen Marley. Experience the Marley Dynasty live at the Dwight York Stadium at Fusion, Easter Sunday, April 20th. The Kings reunite on one stage. Stephen Marley. Graham Smogan.
Have I shown you?
Wayne Wonder.
Got somebody, she's a beauty.
Kess the Band, and many more.
So she
Tickets are going fast. Follow Tobago Festivals on Facebook and Instagram. Or call 639-4441 for more info. Fusion, April 20th at Parade Grounds, Dwight York Stadium. The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
Powered by TTT Limited, the official national media partner for Tobago's Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025.
The winning numbers in the National Lottery online draws for Monday, 14th April 2025. At 10:30 a.m., play away the number 26 foul. Pick two numbers 6 and 36 in that order. Pick four numbers 3, 8, 9, and 4 in that order. At 1 p.m., play away the number 14 money. Pick two numbers 11 and 12 in that order. Mega Ball called. Pick four numbers 0, 2, 1, and 0 in that order.
Choose a leader. That's the most relevant question today. Now that the man retire, people spitting fire, and every talking head having their say. For in this mixed up land that we call Trimbago, many times it does just boil down to race. They say that one side like African and the next prefer East Indian, but this way of choosing leaders is a disgrace. Yeah, why? Because a leader must help its country to rise. A good leader be able to motivate and then mobilize. A good leader, and a leader must be one whose vision is clear. A good leader, holding ethics and integrity. Yeah. A good leader, oh yes, a leader should be humble and polite. Not wrapped up in ego or arrogant, always picking fight. Not a tyrant or a dictator. That is.
All right, so I'm back with you, Trinidad. We'll be back with you. All right, I want to really deal with this issue because I don't want to leave here without dealing with this issue, because I want to hear the nation's view on it. And it's something that I think we should not just brush aside and just play as though it doesn't exist. This exists. And if we are looking at persons who want to become leaders in this country, I think that is a serious issue. For me, personally, I think that I want to hear your views on it. I want to talk about other things, but time has gone really, because after 2 o'clock, the program finished, So I want to deal with this today. Because again, as I said just now, I want to hear the nation's views on it. So over the weekend, Mr. Gary Griffith would have put out a statement on an issue. And when you listen to him, you hear the passion in his voice about the situation. And I think that the situation warrants us to sit back as a nation and take stock on people who want to become leaders in this land. If you want to become a leader in this land, you have to. You can't talk compassion. And if I was a part of an organization, and the organization has now taken a position as though they don't really value me the way you did earlier on, but I want to listen to this. Boy, this touched me, I must say. And it made me also think as an individual, as a person, because in life, don't burn. I said this to Nigel Snipes, one of our colleague of mine who working here. I knew Nigel before. Don't burn the bridges. You never know when you have to cross that bridge again, Seriously, I want you all to listen to this.
When my wife was diagnosed with cancer, the first person to contact me was Keith Rowley. Immediately after that, Minister Stuart Young. That is what you call a class. A year later, Not one person in the UNC has ever contacted my wife or myself. Not one. It says so much about their class or lack of. And what made it worse, they then hired Philip Alexander to attack my wife and attack my children. Kamala Persad was a prime minister and Nicole was a senator in her government. And that woman does not have the common courtesy, you know why? Because Gary is the enemy. When you cannot expect to run a country when you hate half the country.
No. You see that? You hear that? The man said the first person to contact him was the former Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley. Then after that, Mr. Young. And he continued to call out other persons. And he said that his wife was a senator. And the persons who she was a senator under did not even have the common courtesy to message or to call. I don't know if how that resonates with Trinidad and Tobago. How you feel? How do we feel about things like that? It says something, you know. It says something. Listen to Gary again.
When my wife was diagnosed with cancer, the first person to contact me was Keith Rowley. Immediately after that, Minister Stuart Young. That is what you call class. A year later.
No, I want to stop it there. No, Dr. Rowley and Gary Griffith had their public spat. They had their public disagreement. It appears as though they were enemies. But he is saying that the man who appeared to be public enemy number one was the first one to call him. Put aside the politics and the whatever. This is health. This is a personal thing that Dr. Rowley put his himself in that situation. If it was me, this is how I wanted you to treat me. And I'm saying that to say that when we look at social media today and we see the level of disrespect, the level of hate, the level of all what is being said and done, as though we forget we have to live here after April the 28th, you know.
Together.
And when you listen, Gary is basically saying, hey, we need to put aside sometimes the petty differences that we want to discard people for, or treat people with hate and malice about because of it is whoever you choose to vote for. That is your choice. That is your right, your democratic right. But then when I listen to this, you know.
One person
Listen.
When my wife was diagnosed with cancer, the first person to contact me was Keith Rowley. Immediately after that, Minister Stuart Young. That is what you call class. A year later, not one person in the UNC has ever contacted my wife or myself. Not one. It says so much about their class or lack of. And what made it worse, they then hired Philip Alexander to attack my wife and attack my children. Kamala Persad was a prime minister and Nicole was a senator in her government. And that woman does not have the common courtesy, you know why? Because Gary is the enemy. When you cannot expect to run a country when you hate half the country.
Where's your view? Where's your view? How do you feel about what you just heard? Hate is a strong word, you know. I always remember my late grandmother saying, I don't ever want to hear you say hate, dislike.
Yes, absolutely. My mother used to say that as well. Do ever use that word hate. And it's so strong. It's bitter. It's forever hate, you know. You could dislike strongly, but not hate. 6224911 and taking your calls. Let's hear your views.
Trinidad and Tobago, let's hear you. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Gogo.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Nicole.
Hi, sir.
Sad to say, Mrs. Bissessa don't like anybody. Watch how she treats the people who go up in a democratic process in her party and went up against her. Look how she treats them. And watch on the other side. Watch on the other side where the same Dr. Rowley is. You see Penny, all of them back in the party, they was never out. She on the radio talking about, not the radio and TV, I love you, I love you, I love you. Telling our people she loved them just to get a vote. But you know, when she was giving away $1 billion on the highway project, she didn't love them. You know? And when she was doing all kind of madness, she didn't love them, but now she won the vote, she loved them. Thank you, Pastor Google and Nicole.
All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
That was great about Dr. Rowley. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Hello, sorry. Hello, good afternoon. All right. Yeah.
That's going to be the point. The idea that even in this scenario, and I mean, be coming down to parties and who voting for who and for what, and I want to say that I have respect for Gary at this point in time, and I'll tell you why. He did not have to say that he was Dr. Rowley or Stuart Young, the Prime Minister, called him. He did not have to say that. You know, he could have just said, nobody ain't called me, because, you know, that's how we do. We don't ever speak good about whether it happened. We just like to speak negatively. So I say, I'm looking at the fact that he was actually able to say, this is class. This person called me. And it's unfortunate, as I said, I wasn't there, but it was unfortunate that other calls didn't come from other parties, you know. But again, I like the fact that even in the midst of the war, I could say, okay, the person, my opponent, he did well in this area, and commend them.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon. Hi, good afternoon.
Sorry, you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
I'm sorry that you didn't say the whole list of people that called him.
I didn't do what?
Because say the whole list of people that called him as an additional priest.
Oh, so you want me to play the whole list of people who call him?
Yes, there's a whole list of people that he said call him. But it's kind of different coming from Gary Griffith, as he rightfully said, to think that he and Dr. Rowley was at the crest at the loggerhead.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And he had that.
Class is class. Dr. Rowley had the class to call him.
That Dr. Rowley called and expressed concern or empathy towards him. It kind of. It hit me somewhere inside my stomach.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know,
what's the list of the people if we get that additional piece?
I hear you, sir. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Pastor Gogo and Nicole.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, when I tell all you, she owns supporters. She hates them. She gets money to give them poor farmers from the European Union. And she take all, she never give them none. I see she doing that, she give them back 110 million, where she getting it from. So you go hate them when that time comes, and now you go love them when you can get it. But all you know, she yet that Kamala Pastor Bissessa.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. So really, you know, for me, it's you could, you know, sometimes you wonder. Some people that say, "Well, you can't learn from," and there are some people. You know, yesterday I listened to my friend talk, and he was talking about certain things in life, and you know, let me tell you something. You see, class is something you can't take away from somebody. You know, when somebody have class and somebody have how to put it, love, and they have concern, and they put themselves in somebody's situation, and they put aside the petty differences, and they genuinely look out for you. You can't be that, you know.
You're talking about empathy. Yeah. Putting yourself in somebody else's position and being able to relate And yeah.
That's something you can't, boy. And that is what and you see where one of the callers would have said that, hey, it hit him because it traditionally in our culture and our politics, you don't ever hear people of the opposite side. You don't hear them commending each other like that. The only time you would have experienced things like what Gary's talking about there is what was with Mr. Pandey and Mr. Manning time.
Yeah, boy.
They were a class of politicians that, and even Dr. Eric Williams, and you would have heard of Dr. Eric Williams and Mr. Alwari's grandfather, I forget his name right now. They were opposed to each other, but when it comes down to country, when it comes down to respect, you couldn't touch them where that is concerned. We have reached the point where people doing skits on social media talking about how they kidnapped Dr. Rowley and they have him under house arrest with a cutlass, and they're telling him if he don't call the former minister of finance, what they will do to him. And we as a nation not calling out people on these things. We're not saying that these things need to stop. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon to you, Nicole.
Hi, love.
Pastor Google, with reference to Gary Griffith, he didn't just...
You need to talk in your phone. You're not talking in your phone.
You hearing me?
You know, yeah, you're very clear.
All right, with reference to what Gary Griffith said, he didn't just say Dr. Rowley, call him, He said Dr. Rowley was the first, notice that? The first person to call him, followed by Stuart Young. And I think the name you're trying to remember is Sukaran.
Yes, Mr. Sukaran.
All right?
Yes.
Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Pastor Gogo. How are you?
I am all right, sir. How are you?
Pastor Gogo, what is the best predictor of future behavior?
Say that again?
What is the best behavior of future behavior? The best indicator, for future behavior. Past behavior.
Right.
It is the best predictor for future behavior. And I don't know if the people remember the past behavior of the opposition leader. 8,000 young black people locked up, no charge, no evidence, for months. All you remember that? That is her past behavior. Past behavior. 50 billion annual deficit.
Yeah, but we're talking about compassion. We're talking about as a leader and as somebody who is vying for office. What has somebody?
Well, the leadership qualities are lacking drastically because it is always about being advised.
Right.
And not that never ever do anything. And you can see the stark difference even with Prime Minister Stuart, that there's nothing about being advised. They know. Dr. Rowley, same thing. He knows. And of course, we know the same as you mentioned, Mr. Pandey. Same difference. He never talk about being advised.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, caller. Thank you very much. I have to go for a break and come back. All right. So thanks very much. We're going for a break. We're going to come back right after the break. Don't touch your dial.
TTT News, delivering more news at more time. TTT News, reporting on the people, events, and issues that affect your life. TTT News, online and fully interactive. TTT News, nightly at 6. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
as we gear up for General Elections 2025. Talk City
91.1 FM. Talk.
She's pleased to advise that they will deploy a Commonwealth mission, and the Secretariat will be in touch with the government to coordinate planning and deployment. So I can confirm now that the Commonwealth Secretariat, the Commonwealth, will be observing our elections in the build-up to the 28th of April and on the 28th of April.
Music. Culture.
What brought you to Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, my stepdad, he brought me here from when I was about 7 years old. And from a young age, I just fell in love with the culture, with the people.
Tell me a little bit about your musical past, because we see you playing a pan.
Yeah.
But are there particular instruments that perhaps you started on that got you migrating towards?
Yeah, so I started playing piano from about 7 years old. And I did all my piano lessons, did all my grades. But I've always had a deep love for the steel pan.
Engaging conversations, latest news, our music. This is Talk City 91.1 FM.
Sweet TNT is my country. Every creed and race have in one place.
All right, Chillin' TV, so we're back with you, and we're talking about Sweet TNT, and that's Mr. Tasha Williams. Sweet TNT. How are we going to continue to make this place sweet? How are we going to continue to make this place sweet if we continue to allow hate and disrespect to be the order of the day? And when you look at social media, that's all you're seeing right now. Hate about a hate for a nation that you have been living in, and on top of that, you have to still live here after the 28th, you know. So I really just wanted to touch on that a little bit with Gary Griffith, and the sad thing is, you know, how, you know, people in this lifetime, boy, Natasha Wilson. All right. In this lifetime, you just have to do what we have to do. So I wanted to continue. Let me take this call. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor. Pastor, I understand everything you say there, because I went in the meeting in Queens area, and on my way home, some people are asking me, I don't know if these people from Norway, and like they vexed because I went I registered and go away. I tell Pastor, I don't even, I have not, I know one of them, but the others me know them, and the hard and like the vexed I have an registered. I can support who I want to support.
So wait, what you're saying to me is that we are reaching to the point where in this nation that if you have on a red jersey, because I heard someone tell me about a story of a friend of hers who worked for a company, and on a Friday they wear a red t-shirt. They wear a red shirt with their logo. The taxi driver did not see the logo on the shirt. He didn't see the logo on the shirt. All he saw her was in a red shirt. And he told her he don't want her in a taxi.
Pastor, he had a passion for life a bit, because I know that business. At the end of the day, you wanna if you reach in this pastor with them there, they're talking about the amount of hate that them people push to the touch and win an election.
And that is something we have to condemn as a nation. We have to condemn things like that as a nation.
Any other pink, blue, yellow, green, all color. You put on a jersey, people what you they can support who you want. And I go home from because I was in Saudi, and I go home, my own business.
I stopped to get some gas. I go back in my car and people after me. Yeah, belly boy. Something wrong with you, boy. I'm like, well, something wrong with me. Something wrong with it.
Wow.
And that's all you have right now. Possibly you sir, when you're in the other place, you saw a picture a video with the old man.
Yeah, it's the old man who was in Tunapuna market.
Yeah. We there a long time. We just don't acknowledge, but we there a long time.
But we have to do something to stop that. We have to do something to stop that. Thanks very much, caller.
What's the story? You're holding back from me. What's the story?
No, the gentleman said that he went to work. He went not went to work. He
the
went
old
to
man
the
you're
meeting.
talking about?
No, the young man is talking about.
Okay.
He went to a political meeting on Friday. When he left the political meeting, and he went to a gas station, people were heckling him. Some guys was heckling him and making him feel as though he was doing something wrong by wearing a red T-shirt.
Okay.
And I was just showing the example with him about a young lady who was wearing her company's shirt, traveling, and the taxi driver said, "I don't want nobody wearing red in my car." I think those things need to be condemned. Hello, good afternoon.
Pleasant good afternoon to you, Nicole.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Pleasant good afternoon to you, Pastor Google.
Hi, good afternoon.
Pastor Google, when you have leaders and they are followed by a number of people, and you have a colleague who would have unfortunately passed in a most disastrous way along with her 2 children, and you always say children are dear to your heart, but you didn't have it in your heart to even attend that funeral of a colleague. If not for the colleague, at least for the children. And you even told those who are with you that not to turn up for the funeral. Then we have to understand where we are going. And if you can afford to put people of questionable character as candidates, then we have to understand that other people will not be afraid to go down in that same direction because they are following that particular leader. And Dr. Rowley did not only call first, he called and offered any assistance that they would have needed. And that is a leader. And one of your callers was correct, because it was not only Dr. Rowley and the Honorable Siot Young. Many others called in as well. And it was mentioned by Gary Griffith. And not one from the other side, led by that particular leader, decided, listen, I will not follow. I will at least, even I call him quietly and call and say, you know, what it is unfortunate, and we support you, and we support your wife and your family, and have a speedy recovery. Nothing of the sort was done. And when you are leading citizens in that way, we have to be very, very careful how we vote. Because it's telling me that all you need me for is for my vote, and after that you do not care about me one way or the other. And that is, for me, it's frightening. So we have to look at all of these things and understand who wants to lead us and who we would like to be in Whitehall on the 29th of April. It is extremely important that we understand this, because as one of your callers also alluded to, there is history with this individual. And now she speaks about people in the tones and what she says, and is backed up by other people. And that is wrong for this country, this small Trinidad and Tobago, that this land that we love, if we want to see it going forward. And there'll be no violence or hatred or pain for others. That there'll be love and caring for each other. You all spoke about it very early in your discourse, you and Nicole when you all now started off just after 12. What love. And it appears as though there are people who decide the only way to have office is to say, listen, I will divide and rule. And I don't care what you think, to the detriment of all of us, including those on that side, as though it will only affect half of the country and not the other half. That is the sad state of affairs of that leader and those who follow her.
Thank you very much.
Word to the wise. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
And to Miss Nicole.
Hi, sir.
How you doing? I like Miss Nicole's voice, you know. Moving on. Pastor Google, what has frightened me, Yeah? Hello?
Yes, go ahead, caller.
Yeah, what has frightened me? No, not what has frightened me, what I have analyzed. This demograph that the opposition went through, it was fully prepared enough. These are the children that grew up, that went straight up into the other form without merit or die the portion of children that she pushed through. You know, and they just use the demograph that not really analytical, because I just do my own research. When they check it out, many of them don't even read our papers. They're not even interested in anything like to read and to get knowledge and stuff. What they'll do, they'll take the chain up from social media and buy into the hate without any depth of analysis or anything. And I think the opposition calculated. It was a meticulous calculation that we have undiscerning, unanalytical people in the country who are totally disconnected from sourcing any kind of information, informed information, and the victimhood. So they gather up all those people and get to realize that maybe added to their unmoving numbers, that they could do something. Because I cannot understand that you come in to run a government that is in our country that is recognized internationally, and you have as one of your war cries or political adages as yellow is the code, or you know what them thing really mean by people. I don't think people really getting up into what. Imagine you want to run for prime minister of a country and your party have an adage called yellow is the code. So it's a demographic that they tackle. And that's the scary part for me then, because think about it. Lying in the background are closing off no part of the world. Hidden, lurking in the darkness is this gun license thing, And what is the type of people that rolling with the opposition? And think about when they start to do dark unlikely thing, what going to happen? That'll be a new phase and a new level in this country.
Listen to me.
I don't care what nobody says.
You hear me?
Just don't give up.
You hear me? Oh, you go on. I would have liked to engage you to tell you something. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon, Pastor.
Good afternoon.
In response to the subject of Gary Griffith, I agree with you that the politicians should be showing more love of people in general, and also the politicians should be showing love to the people. For example, I call him from Moruga here, and it's a busy thing going on paving our roads down here right now. When we suffering that for the last how much years, this is not with UNC or PNM. This is just that politicians should show the people more love by doing the things that they were paid to do.
Right, so I can ask you. Can I ask you a question, caller? Can I ask you a question, caller?
Yeah.
All right. Could you just describe to Trinidad and Tobago the kind of land that it have in Moruga and how technical it can be to sustain the moving of the land? Because it's the same thing that I know people talk about in Labrie. In Labrie, there's a pitch lake that does pull, right? That does pull, and when it pulls, the road moves. And there are several governments try to fix that road in Labrie, but because it's a vein that pulls, the road doesn't stay steady all the time. But I want for you, I'll give you a few minutes to because
I can tell you something in the middle of that.
Go ahead.
I happen to be a public servant who works in the ministry and understands library and the infrastructure of Moruga, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about from Princestown to certain parts of Moruga, the area is very good. And those areas were neglected, Pastor.
No, but you talk about you talked about Moruga. No. Don't try to dance me. No, don't try to dance me. We're talking about Moruga Road.
Yes.
Right. So tell me what are the technical So what are the technical things that you can share with Trinidad because you say that you work in the Ministry of Works. So what is it?
So many technical things.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
All right. For example, the ministry has a crew or crews that deal with road maintenance, right?
All right, have a good afternoon. Because you're not listening to the question I ask you.
No, I hear you asking me what are some of the things.
Why are the roads in Moruga the way it is? Is it just because of bad maintenance?
Yes, most of it.
All right, caller, thanks.
Most of it.
Thank you. All right. You see, I don't live in Port of Spain, no. I live in San Fernando. I have family that I go to who are the Cummins, who are from Moruga. Right? And I wanted the caller to be honest and share with persons because you see, I could sit here and just say to you, yes, caller, I'm not going on the road of just being a yes caller. I know it. I go down there all the time. So if I'm to sit here and just agree with you, for what reason? What's the reason why I just agree with you? Why we don't tell the nation why the roads is difficult to maintain? There are reasons why. There's not just that sit down and you say, well, maintain the road. That's not a quick fix. And if you want me to sit down here and say, well, yes, it's a quick fix and it's a government fault and they're wicked. No, it's not a quick fix. You have to build with retaining walls, number one. Number two, when you build retaining walls, you have to then now make sure that the retaining wall is applicable to the pulling of the land. So, at the end of the day, you have several factors that you have to take in place. There are some contractors who were given the job and they did shabby work. And that's not under this government. So some of the persons who did shabby work under the former government, this government had to come and redo the bad work. Yes, Francis, I'm trying to call you. I'll call you just now, Mr. Paul.
622-4911, 622-4911.
Yeah, I'll take the calls. Yeah, I'll take the calls. But I want to clear up this because there are too many persons who believe that it is a one-off. And it is not a one-off. And many of you who live in Moruga know it's not a one-off. And I know it's not a one-off. And if you have never been to Moruga, and if you have never stayed in Moruga, then don't tell me it's a one-off. And don't blame it on just one person. It's not. Right? It's not. And those of us who are from Moruga know that it is not. And the reason why I'm continuing like this is because I know it down there. Right? Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Pastor Google.
Yes, sir.
Nicole, good afternoon.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Pastor Google, and that is what I'm asking myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every 5 years when a new government comes in, right, they give this contract to these companies, billions of dollars. As soon as a year or two come in, and this government, the road of them is in a deplorable manner. Because, Pastor Google, those contractors are not doing the work the right way it's supposed to be done. If you're doing work down in Labrie and Moruga, as you say, you have to do proper, put in the proper retaining wall. Do you know the road going to shift? You have to study that and do it right. When you come and you do a shady job on the contract, the next couple of months, the government has to spend more money. Our money just like his musical chairs going on with these contractors on the same road. going every year. And this is a problem that's going on. Right, Pastor Google? This is what I'm seeing. And you see, when a person have character, it's embedded in them, like in Dr. Rowley. That was nothing for him to pick up a phone and call Guy Griffin and find out how his wife is, because the man is a man of character. You don't think and get character just now. It has to be embedded in you and know what you want in life, Pastor Google. And this is what Dr. Rowley, Stuart Young, and the PNM government give to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. They have character in the party, and the next one don't have. Okay? Have a good day.
And every talking head having their say.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
All right, good
How are you, sir?
All right.
All right, good evening, Miss Nicole.
Hi, sir. How are you doing?
All right, I'm okay. Pastor Google, I'm listening to the conversation concerning about the roads and what's not down there. Now, I'm not from the area, but I specifically remember times when I do go down there, that they would fix the road, and then in a matter of months or maybe, you would come to the road again, and I was always wondering as to why that used to take place. But listening to you here now, right? And I just asked me a question. Isn't the road to Princeton, I think it's the Manahambe Road, I think. Does it suffer that same problem because sometimes the land slips or something like that? Because I remember going down there and they had to reconstruct the whole road, put in the same retaining walls and all that manner of stuff. Am I correct on that, sir?
Yes.
Down
very
Manahambe
correct.
Road you're talking about?
Yeah, very correct.
So because when I used to drive truck in my younger days, and I used to be all over the country, and we used to be going down there. And I remember at one point in time when the land started to people homes started to collapse.
Yeah.
And I always wonder why that was, right? But apparently some kind of geological situation going on there. I mean, I ain't far from being a geologist, but hearing you there now, it would seem to me, right? And that's a comment I'm making, right? That anybody who doing that work down there supposed to know their onions and considering the fact. And a matter of fact, they're supposed to have some engineers on board to be able to give them the proper advice, technical advice, to deal with that situation. And it would seem to me that somebody, whoever it is being paid to do that, not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just locked on listening because I jog my memory of that now, because I always remember going down on that side. I have some friends living down there that's always taking place, and I always wondered why. You know, the road and face, and then apparently there's some kind of instability going on. I don't know.
Right.
You know, but I find it strange that the caller there trying to make a situation out of it.
No, he wasn't.
You understand? I mean, if it's something natural that's going on, I mean, well, I guess it would have to be addressed, but by the proper people, and if the proper people not
Caller,
being,
all I was trying to get from the caller is to explain to me the technical difficulties of why the road is the way it is.
Oh, well,
that is what I was asking the caller. What are the technical difficulties that have the road the way it is? That is what it is, you know. And the reality of it is that people just need to be honest. People just need to be honest and stop trying to fool people. The reality of it is that the roads, and I have the person on the phone line now who is going to explain the technical issues of the road. It's not like a normal road somewhere. If it's like a normal road somewhere where it's just bad, and you just neglect the road because there are technical things that need to be properly researched. You need to do proper soil research and know how the soil moves and why it moves the way it moves, so that you know how to put a proper retaining wall where you have to put it.
Very, very good. You say I had the person on the line, so let me come off and hear the expert, because I cannot just speculated. If you understand what I'm saying.
Thank you very much.
So look to understand.
Yeah, man. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, Mr. Paul.
Yeah, right here.
All right. So I want you to just explain the trend. You are from where?
I'm from Maria, Boy
Say it again.
Born here, live Maruga all my life.
All your life.
All my life.
Right. I want you to explain to Trinidad and Tobago what would you call the land in Maruga? There's a specific name that they call the land in Maruga. What do you call it?
What do you mean? Type of soil?
Yeah.
Tapati.
Say it again.
Tapati soil.
Right. How does that soil operate?
Tapati, when it's dry season, it cracks. When it's rainy season, it moves.
Stop. Say that again.
When it's dry season.
When it's dry season, it cracks.
It cracks open.
So when it cracks?
When it's rainy season, it moves.
And when it's rainy season, it does what? It moves. So right. So if you have to build a road on a land like that, how do they go about it?
But the challenge with the Maruga road is that over the years, the Maruga road was the road the Guara used to use from Landsmeter when they came from the mainland to Naparaima. So they used that road with a track. And over the years, when the Americans came, they continued the track. And the road was built on the track. So there was no infrastructure that was put into place. Trakikan was the only man who thought about building the road. But he thought about you had to dig up the entire road and pack it back to do over the road in a manner that would have stabilized the road itself. And that meant a lot of work and a lot of cost.
Right.
The road is very costly,
Right.
It's very costly.
Say that again. It's very what?
Costly.
Right. And
I would die and my children would continue and they would continue to maintain that road.
Right.
We would continue to have landslides for the rest of our lives. That's the type of soil we have.
So wait. So the type of soil that you have, that's why I want you to get at. Because there are some people who believe that it's a quick fix. Or we can just fix it.
No. They tried that before. And failed miserably.
Right. So
and then what's happening in Aberdeen, you will fix a landslide now today. And by tomorrow when it's only developed just lower down the street.
Oh, so you will fix that.
It's a challenge.
So you fix that landslide now, and then 2-3 months down the road, you see.
Months, partners, we working on a landslide the other day, and by next couple of weeks, when we fix one and next one develop.
Wow.
The government has spent millions on the Maruga road, especially this government. This government was in power. The government has spent millions, literally millions on the Maruga road, trying to stabilize. So
it's not that the government has totally neglected the road and never maintained it or never tried to fix it.
No more maintenance, partners. You will fix the landslide now and you have no control over what will happen next couple of weeks. And then, of course, the water situation.
Right.
Sometimes the line, there is a case of chicken and egg. The line moves, and when the line moves, it cracks the water line. When the water line cracks, you don't know it's crack and leaking until you see that appear. The land starts to move. And because the Sabbath soil and the chlorine hit the Sabbath soil, that moves in cakes. When I say cakes, move like truckloads. Like the size of a truck. And one morning you get up, the road here, and next morning the road down leaking.
Wow.
That's the way Sabbath soil operates.
Right.
So in order to stabilize that now, you need to have the engineers come into the soil test, and then they have to bench from underneath coming up. And that is not $2. That is not $2. It don't cost $2. So anybody telling you, I am one who used to be on the social media blasting the government about they're taking forever to fix roads, but after I get to understand what is involved, then I had to tread back. Because then I realized it's not an easy fix. You have to do research. You have to come up to when you benching the wall especially, you have to bench it from underneath. And within recent times, you have started doing vetiver grass on the landscape. They started a new project, local government started a new project with the reforestation program to plant vetiver grass at all the landslides that were rehabilitated. And we're planting vetiver grass which goes to 20 feet to hold the land. So that was do a further shoring up of the area that they would have done the retaining wall on, which of course we expect it to hold a little longer. But we know it's a matter of fact, before the years over, we'll have about 2 or 3 lands again, as we've been done before. Something we have to live with. Except they relocating Maruga road, something we have to live with. Because of the soil type and because of where the road is located, we will have to live with land like the rest of our life.
All right, Mr. Francis, thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
So there's a resident from the community who understand it. And he was one who was really appalled and vocal until he did his research. And he found out, just like where I live is Sapote land, 1 minute, you see the house. If we didn't if my mom did not build a proper retaining wall behind our house, the house would have split in two. Who would have blamed for that? The government? No. You have to know the soil and you have to know where you're living and what is applicable for where you live and what you do. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Pastor Google?
Yes, sir.
These people are really good. We have to be careful because they are set on changing narrative. So it moved from compassion and love to say that the government no love you because they don't want to fix the road. So they're just trying to change the narrative and we have to stay focused. Because the guy just drop off the air because he changed his focus, and that's what they send people to do to our program. Our good.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
You know, Pastor Google, I'm okay, Pastor Google. Listening to you and good afternoon to your other co-host. Yeah,
Hi, sir.
Sorry about my bad manners, Pastor Google. No, Pastor Google, isn't it the same thing like what is happening across the Lady Young? They're coming from by Hilton down to by the Nova walkover because that's so the landscape down and when the rain is falling, they always have to have that.
Nah, this is different. Nah, this one is different. This one is different. When it's dry season, the earth does actually, you see big cracks in the ground, huge cracks in the ground. When it's rainy season, the earth, sometimes the dirt does just sink. And if you don't have a proper retaining wall or a proper foundation, it would pull aside your house within minutes.
Okay, you know where you have similar problem, something like that. That's like in Pinto, the river in Pinto in Arima. Because you remember, at one point in time, they had houses going down the river. The government had to put big walls there. Now so it's coming on more like a dry river down there in Pinto, in that Pinto River that goes to the Caroni thing there. So I understand a bit of it. But you know, Pastor Google, I am a bit confused. So I said I would call you on to find out this, right? Now, I'm listening to two sets of people. One is saying change, right? But I went and looked up the word change, and I saw that there's a whole set of meaning states. So I wanted to know really what it is the person saying, you know, because that you're asking people to change. So I want to know really which part they were speaking from the word change. And then the next person is claiming that they are a winner, and when they win, end up saying, right? But I remember in 2013, Pastor Google, when the past American president, who was the vice president, came down, and also the Chinese president, with the and the Canadian government locked up the people the same children's hospital in Vancouver. What was the contract was given to the Canadians, and then the Canadian government was in corruption. They locked them up, seized them, and then the Chinese came and quit. So I was trying to figure out, Pastor Google, you know, maybe you could help me out. Where it is that this person is going to win? But Pastor Google, I want to ask you all something. Is we going to see before between this next 14 days a mass exodus from the UNC?
I don't know.
But Pastor Google, before I go,
quickly, because I want to please have some answer.
Yeah, I'm going now. I'm stopping now. I wanted to check out Leviticus 10, Numbers 14, and Psalm 75, and then and maybe tomorrow we can have a discussion about it. I love to listening.
Yeah, and every talking head having their say. Or in this mixed up land that we call
2025.
Red House. She brings her years of media experience and love of service to Talk City 91.1 FM.
Hi, folks. I am Sharon Farfan.
Sharon Farfan has helped thousands in TNT tear through the red tape. Tune in to connect with Sharon on Talk City 91.1 FM, bringing help to those who need it most. Connect with Sharon on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Connect with Sharon on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 12:05 p.m. on Talk City 91.1
journalists
FM.
are on the ground, seeking the facts and reporting on the people, events, and issues that affect your life. We have Trinidad and Tobago covered, from Cedros to Charlottesville, Crown Point to Moruga. Our news reaches further on any smart device. TTT News, first at 6 p.m. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
And let me remind you, Tobago, my land, my sweet Tobago, where all my fans are. Love you lots. And got to remind you that, are you ready? Asking the question, are you ready for the biggest musical event in Tobago for 2025? The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival comes to you from April 17th to the 20th. Get your physical tickets now at Tobago Festivals Commission Limited, Smithfield Plaza in Scarborough, all Penny Savers supermarket locations, Barcode, corner Mount Mary and Milford Road in Scarborough, Pablo's Supermarket, Argyle Main Road, Ted Arthur, corner Ross and Burnett Street, Uptown Scarborough, Waterholics, Pigeon Point Road, and Dominion Appliances, CPU Trace, Carnby, and nationwide, all Cache locations, all Ecliff Eli locations, all Johnny Q Hardware locations, and the tickets are also available online at islandtickets.com. Visit www.tobagofestivalscommission.com for more information, or call 639-4441. That number again, 639-4441. On Talk City, 91.1 FM, just about 24 minutes to 3 o'clock, and the conversation continues. We take your calls, reminding you at 3 o'clock, we're handing over to Rachel and Nigel, taking care of your afternoon drive.
Welcome to the Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival on April 19th, 2025. We invite you to an evening of smooth rhythms and soulful music as the sun dips behind Buku Bay. Let all your senses be tantalized. Enjoy an array of seafood dishes, browse crafts and designs created by local artisans, and lose yourself in the soulful melodies of John Sakata, Ryan McKnight,
Undeniable that we should be together.
Bonnet Bigford,
So when the lightning crackling waters, the waves roll and break.
Mikal Teja,
Where else I go, without you, my God.
and the best of Tobago's talent. Get your physical tickets now. Tickets are also available online at islandetickets.com. Visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info, or call 639-4441. The Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival, April 19th at Buku Integrated Facility. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
Powered by TTT Limited, the official national media partner for Tobago's Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025.
As we gear up for General Elections 2025, Talk City 91.1 FM asks you, did you know? Did you know that the purpose for parliamentary elections, the country is divided into 41 electoral districts or constituencies, 39 in Trinidad and 2 in Tobago? With respect to the delimitation of constituencies, the Constitution provides as follows. In Trinidad and Tobago, respectively, the electorate in any constituency shall not be more than 110%, nor be less than 90% of the total electorate of the island divided by the number of constituencies in that island. Did you know? Well, now you know. Talk City 91.1 FM, keeping you in the know.
Talk City 91.1 FM.
Lord knows I'm tired, hear it. Protesters daily declare it. Bedlam on Nelson or Beatam. When you are we shut down the program. Vendors from Queen Street to Charlotte. When they hot and ready to riot. Whatever we do, like they what we teeth. Once some facing adverse conditions, prime minister fall back position. And to this mindset I just fall. Good grief, good grief. But I remember back in the 90s when they killed for Michael Hercules, shoot the famous prison commissioner. The mother said she boy was a hustler. But for crimes like murder, there is no good reason or rhyme. Poverty ain't no damn excuse for crime. No way, poverty is no excuse. You don't ever win but lose. But with upward mobilization, nothing beats good education. Next time a youth man say it, hit him a slap one time. What poverty and no damn excuse for crime. No way. But tell your big them, all who causing the problem. Oh. Met some youth men down on the bread line. Same song they sing and then rewind. Don't care for whatever cost that. Tell them to walk they want that. But to your face they will hiss first right. You see that only miss out about night. But they what we do, how they what we eat. It's that self for causing the problem. Boss man run the bread is the anthem. Forcing nation war and gnashing of teeth. Still I remember Michael Hercules when they killed him back in the 90s. The mother said it wasn't murder. She son was just seeking a dollar for many of us who
All right, so I'm back with you. We're back with you. In time now in Trinidad and Tobago, it is 2:42.
So when it's
See, I told you all as soon as 2 o'clock comes, that's the end of the program, you know.
That's something else, eh? And you really say so, like 3 just comes immediately. It just like is, yeah, boy. And then I guess your callers don't know when to stop. They just continue to call. So we'll take a few 622. What's all right? Let me see something. Pastor Google.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Let me hear you now because it's nearly 2 weeks. What's the number that your callers had to call?
It's 622. Yeah, because it's not like I could call out. I still have the other number engraven in my mind. So it's 622-4911.
Yeah, you have to look up.
Yeah, I am not a hero. In the past place, I sometimes used to call that number as my own number. Like if I give somebody somebody asking what's your number, I call in all the station numbers if it's my number.
That happens. Yeah. So 622-4911. We want to hear from you as we getting ready to wind down.
Well, I ain't whining, eh?
Just quickly, you see me? I'm moving right along. Yes, are you ready for the biggest musical event in Tobago for 2025? Don't forget, it is a Rhythm and Soul Festival, April 17th to the 20th. Get your tickets now at Tobago Festivals Commission Limited, Smithfield Plaza, Scarborough, all Penny Savers supermarket locations, Barcode Corner, Mount Mary, is it Mary or Marie? Mount Mary and Milford Road in Scarborough, Pablo Supermarket, Argyle Main Road, Ted Arthur, Corner Ross and Burnett Streets, Uptown Scarborough, Waterholics, Pigeon Point Road, Dominion Appliances, CPO Trace Carnby, all Cache locations, all Ecliff Eli locations, all Johnny Q Hardware locations. And let me give you a number to call. 639-4441, 639-4441. And a special good afternoon to all my Tobago people. Always a pleasure to have you locked on. Yes.
I want to play something for you guys before I leave. For the young people out there who listening, I want to play something for you. Or the parents who have your young people listening, I want to play something for them. And I know some of you may know, some of you may not know, but you all know that I like to play these clips for a reason. Take a listen to this.
The UN. Let's talk about opportunities for our young people. The MIDNS today launched the PIPE program, which is a plumbing training and apprenticeship program in collaboration with the Ministry of Public Utilities and WASA. We enrolled 100 participants today, and this program will continue as resources allow to train our young people in the plumbing sector.
I feel very excited. I do think a technical skill is important to have.
It was a real nice feeling for me, to be a part of a program that could develop the country.
A lot of mixed emotions on starting my journey, but most of all, I'm excited to start it and to finish it.
Having the certification, I always wanted to do my own thing, like business, as well as travel to other countries and work as well.
Find a job in the field or just using it as a life skill. Share my knowledge about plumbing, but also to further it because I like plumbing and electrical, so I'm going to further my skills and maybe open my business.
It's not time for any young person to sit at home, drinking a bowl for soup or watching Lifetime, but to get up and get something going for them. It will not come to you on the table. You have to have that desire and passion, wanting to do better for yourself and for your future family. The opportunity is yours. Pull it with me.
Opportunity is yours, young people, wherever you are. And that opportunity continues to be yours in Trinidad and Tobago. There's some people, I saw a young man did a video someday saying that, and a lot of persons don't know that Trinidad is, I think, the only Caribbean island you don't have to pay to ride CXC. A lot of people don't know that, A lot of persons don't know that Trinidad and Tobago might be the only Caribbean island you don't have to pay to write A-levels and all those things. But we take our blessings for granted, and some of us prefer to complain than to appreciate. So let's take this last caller, and then I'm going to play some ads, and I'm out of here. Hello, good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google and Ms. Lasson.
Good afternoon, sir.
I was that caller last Saturday. I wouldn't mind if you could recommend his name. I hear say Paul and then you say Francis. I don't know if it's surname and first name or what, but I familiar with down there, even the candidate for down there. I know, and she said here, and she from Manahambre Road, right where the man say is the most of the damage of the landslide. Now, it have a documentary on TTT. So I was wondering, how come Moruga people not using a vetiver bush? And the man come and say they're using it because that they say from way back that is using Paramin is used that on the hills, and North Coast Road is used that to save the landslide. And bam, the man come and say they're using it. So I believe they will get it, but they have to take time to really get through that road. Pastor Google, you stuck with your grandmother. You remember, you see that vetiver bush? Besides what they're using it for, to hold the land together. They used to use that to put in clothes long time, in the cupboard. Yeah, I have no idea about that.
For what reason?
Eh?
What reason?
Like insect hunting, mole hunting. Like how you could put camphor, but camphor now is
cancer.
Yellow thing now.
Yeah.
Right? It could get you sick.
All right.
That is what they used to use, this bush. And it's the same vetiver that they use in the land. They just take a little piece of it and they put it inside the cupboard with the clothes.
Yeah.
And it is keep away all insect and mole and all kind of things.
All right. Thank you very much, caller.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if I can squeeze in this one.
Moruga using it.
Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. Good afternoon, Nico.
Nice to hear.
Yes, Pastor, this is your new grand caller.
Hey, how are you?
Said that you were taking one call and then you're going to
play the ads and leave.
Yeah. When you play the ads, will I be able to talk to you off there, please?
You have my number?
No, Pastor Google.
You don't have my number, so how I give you my number?
I will take it now.
Live on air?
Well, that's why I was telling you when you go to the ad, if we can talk.
I don't know. This is a different arrangement here, you know. On I could have done that on the other place, but no.
But you understand, you see, what you want to do.
I wonder if I could ask you. I heard you said this morning your mom name is Yvonne Henry.
Yvette Henry.
Yvette.
Yes.
Is she part of a twin?
No. I know the twins that you're talking about. Some short ladies.
Okay, I went to school with them. So
yeah.
So that I was calling you for. Okay.
Oh, no. My mom, but we know them very well though.
Okay.
Yeah, they were my mom good friends. They when my mom was in university. They were doing the same. They were doing a degree at the same time.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Pastor Google.
You're most welcome.
That was my schoolmate from secondary school.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. You have a good afternoon.
Thank you, lovey.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Cool, I said that was the last one. You have 1 minute or less.
Yes, Pastor,
a second.
Good afternoon, Pastor.
Good afternoon.
Nicole, good afternoon.
Hi, sweetheart.
It's not the metiver leaf, it's the metiver root that is used and put it in your clothes. It's not the leaf. You take the root and wash it and dry it, and it smells sweet and nice. You don't know the moon to dig it to.
You have to know when to dig it?
Yeah, you don't know the moon.
You from Aruga?
No, I'm not from there, but I know about it.
All right then, Mom. Thank you very much.
Because that lady just sell it to that shack all in town on Frederick Street.
Hey. All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much for calling.
Root. Tell them that the leaf, The leaf can smell nice. It's the root.
The root that smell nice. All right then.
Yes.
Well,
have a blessed season and reach home safe.
Thank you very much. Same to you. Nicole, closing remarks?
What can I say? Well, you kept saying that you're leaving, and I just wanted to know if were you leaving me behind? Because you didn't say we leaving. You said I am leaving. So is that are you casting me aside so that I will now have to join the three to 8? I just need to find out, Pastor Google.
Well,
because the two callers you get from Tobago that make you feel and thing. The two callers.
But I watch any time, yeah, because you. I am not as privileged as you.
People, well, once again, you have got close, you know. Once again, thank you so much for being our co-host. Really, that's who they are, because you make the program. We listen to you, we hear your thoughts, and God willing, we'll be back on track doing it all over again. As we started off in prayer earlier, I think we were talking about God being our source. He's our shield. He's our ever-present help in time of trouble. You know, sometimes you want to call somebody for help, but call on him. He say, he never sleeps, he never slumbers. Right? So we love you lots. Catch you tomorrow, same time. For what's the name of the show again, Pastor Google? Pastor Google, what's the name of the show? He doesn't know the name of the show.
What name of the show tomorrow?
What trouble is this, boy?
Youth Perspective. Conversations and ideas that focus on future generations.
It's a discourse that stays relevant, is dynamic, and inclusive of the needs of all citizens. Youth Perspective on Constructive Talk, Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays, 1:30 p.m. on Talk City, your address for talk.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. We report the news. News in real time. TTT News, first at 6 p.m. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Democracy, a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of a state, typically through elected representatives.
Defending your rights, bringing awareness, waking you up with knowledge. Sharon Felix is live on Talk City 91.1 FM, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. with Damian Kidd, Titans of Democracy on Talk City 91.1 FM.
A wave of my emotions.
Hear my plea, answer my call.
The peace and happiness we had before was lost with everybody fighting war. Let's hope that so move on, upward, come on. You put a hand and I put a hand and we will see. In no time at all for big and for small prosperity. There's no other way to do it. Show your patriotic